All right. I think we are live. I was frozen there for a minute. Hey, what's up? Good morning. It is a Wednesday. I almost said Friday. It feels like a Friday today. I don't know why. I think because, we're going to be not home on Friday, which I'll be doing the Friday jam session probably in a hotel room, um, or maybe the lobby, or I'm not quite sure, but I will be here. So, anyway, today we are going to be talking about something pretty exciting. And I think a lot of you are always wanting to hear about how do you make money from just content? And is that even possible? To some people, when you explain this to them, they just can't wrap their brain around it. And I got to be honest, I couldn't wrap my brain around it until you you see other people doing it. And it's where also I think you need to see for yourself, and that could be through your own content or someone like me showing you and sharing with you how this is even possible. Now, also keep in mind that not every website with content is going to perform the same. And I'm not talking about selling anything. This is like as close as passive income as you can get in my eyes. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. I'm not going to get too much into it yet because we'll get into it here in a few minutes. But anyway, just wanted to say thank you for stopping by this morning, having a little coffee. And I do have a fresh cup of coffee here ready to go. And I've got some exciting news to share with you about a future episode on the podcast. Pretty exciting. Let me share that here while we're waiting. So we are approaching our 1000th episode. It's always hard for me to say. We are approaching it. It's going to be happening here. And what is the exact date that is going to be airing? Let me see here. It's actually going to be on a Friday, and that one is going to be June 18th, which I believe is next Friday. So next Friday, we are going to be pausing a jam session, although I will be here to do this jam session, but I won't be doing it on a podcast. That slot is slated for episode 1000. And I kind of went back and forth with some people in BCA, Brand Creators Academy, for those of you that don't know what that means. And I asked their thoughts, their feedback. What would they want? And I had a couple of options. And the one that we decided to go and do and record actually happened last night was a open discussion with my family. I had my daughter here, my oldest daughter, Alexis, Cameron, her husband, my son, Scotty, and my other daughter, Kayla, my wife, Lisa, and we sat around the table for probably about an hour and a half. And we literally used this right here. I've still got it. It's my Zoom mic. We set it in the middle of the table, and I just hit record. And we talked. And I got to be honest, it was really cool to listen to your kids talk about what it was like when they were really little, growing up through all of these business, endeavors, and to see where it made the most impact on them and how their thought process has been changed, and where that all happened and what they were thinking, and some of my thoughts as this was all going on and what I was feeling and the struggles and all of that stuff. My wife was sharing some stories that I kind of forgot about. So all of that is coming on episode 1000, and that will be happening next Friday. It will be airing on June 18th. So stay tuned. I'll give you more details on that, but it was a fun episode to do, and it's recorded. So it's now in the queue. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. So yeah, thank you so much, Alejandro. And good morning. I was going back through your podcast and realized I have been listening since when you reached 500. I can't wait to hear 1000. Wow, that's crazy. And for some reason, I don't see who this is because in StreamYard, it doesn't show me your profile. Would love to know who you are because I can't see it in the profile. But anyway, Yes, Salma, looking forward to it. Yeah. I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. And I wasn't sure if I should cut it up into two parts because it is an hour and a half. We are gonna edit it down, so it'll probably be one episode, but it'll probably be a little bit longer than usual. Oh, Noel. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we had a good hot seat session the other day too, Noel and I, inside of Brand Creators Academy. That hot seat is recorded. It was recorded live in the group, and we're going to also add it to the portal. So if you are in Brand Creators Academy and you didn't watch that yet, it's in the group and it's going to be in the portal here probably by the weekend. So keep an eye out for that, or you can just go into the group and it's already published in there. It was pretty awesome. We did that. We were on for about an hour, I believe. Really, really good. Good stuff. All right, cool. So let's do this. Oh, before I do, wait a minute. Sip of coffee. I also would like you guys to tell me what topic would you like to discuss Friday? Jam session topic. If you guys have any ideas, if you are watching this on the replay and it's before Friday, go ahead and drop it in there. I'm going through that right now, building out my calendar for next week and this week. Give me some ideas. What would you like me to discuss for the jam session that we can dig a little bit deeper into? So let me know. All right, here we go. We're going to officially kick this baby off. Here we go. And the title of this is How to Make $1,000 per month from blog content only. And this is somewhat of a case study because, well, we're doing that right now. And it's pretty awesome. And I've got two different examples I'm going to share with you. And I'm going to show you how this is possible, what numbers to look at, and also how it can vary from niche to niche. So we'll talk about that. All right. So here we go. All right. Welcome to this episode where I am going to share with you how to make $1,000 per month from blog content only. And this is somewhat of a case study because we are actually doing this inside of Brand Creators Academy. There's two niche sites that we're building out. We have been building them out now for just under 2 years. And well, we are having a lot of fun experimenting, number one, and we're testing different ad networks. And really our goal in the very beginning was to get this to $1,000 on autopilot where we didn't have to do anything else, just keep the content there and have it monetized. But as you grow this, we are seeing other opportunities, which we will be able to expand on that, but then also add a lot of other revenue streams, which we've already begun doing, adding digital products. What else? Oh, Etsy shop. We've added some other things. So now what started as I'm just going to build a content site and monetize the traffic is there's all these other little monetization vehicles that we're going to be using. And inside of the Academy, we do go and share all of that with you. We're also going to be building out a brand new site. I say brand new. There's a domain that I've been kind of, well, it's been in my closet, let's say, for about 5 years. It hasn't been doing much, but it does have some site authority. We're going to be building that out with some fresh content. And we're going to be tracking what that does over the next 6 to 12 months inside of the Academy. If you are interested in joining Brand Creators Academy, then I would definitely recommend heading on over to brandcreatorsacademy.com and getting all the details there, because that's what we do. It's kind of like our way of testing and experimenting and sharing, and you get to watch from the very beginning. And that's what we're going to be doing in this other site. So it's a new site, fresh content, fresh niche. Was inspired by another site that we almost purchased. Long story short is now we are going to build out a site that is in a similar niche. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. But we're following the same principles that we're talking about here today. So how do we get to $1,000 per month from content only? How do we do this? Well, first off, we need to understand how this even happens. Okay. So when I first had this idea of just creating a niche site, a content site that would primarily get paid through two different ways. One would be just through an ad network or affiliate offers. And there's a variety of different ones. There's Amazon, there's ClickBank, there's private networks, all of that stuff. We get the traffic, we can monetize that. Obviously, we want to validate this beforehand. We'll get a little bit into that. But I like this as almost as a piece of real estate. And I've said this before, your online properties are like real estate because they are selling like real estate and as fast. And I've seen sites sell for, oh gosh, $5,000 all the way up to $20 million. So it just depends. And I've also heard content sites selling for, I think it was like around 10 million. So you can do just content sites and get up there. Now, obviously you have to have a really, crazy niche that has a lot of traffic. But in this case, I was just setting out when I started this little side project and decided to document this is my idea was to just build out this niche site, in this case, 2 niche sites, like I was building a house, because I come from the construction world. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to build a house on the internet and I'm going to get it ready. And so when it's ready to be rented, I'm going to rent it and I'm going to be able to collect rent and get to $1,000 rent per month. That's kind of my thought process. It's a little bit different than that, obviously, because we don't have to go into a certain location, although we are going into a certain niche. That's where we're going to get our traffic. So I looked at this like, okay, yes, I'm going to invest some money. And in my head, I'm either going to invest time in creating the content myself, or I'm going to hire it out as I would if I was building a house, if I was a builder. It's exactly what I did, by the way. And in my head, I said, I would be willing to spend up to $10,000 to build out this piece of property. And I believe, I got to go through my numbers, but I believe I probably have spent just about that on each of those. Now, to some people, that's like, Scott, that's crazy. You spent $10,000 on content to put on these sites. And the answer is yes, I did. But you can go and find websites right now that are only generating $100, $200 a month, and they're selling for $5,000 to $10,000. Just that, because they're earning something, right? They're earning $100, $200, $300, and it's all by the multiple and all that stuff. Not important at this point. But in my head, I'm like, if I'm going to buy something that's already up and running, which I'm definitely interested in, and I'm considering all the time. But if I can build something and get it to a certain place to where it's generating $800, $1,000, $2,000 per month, and it's pretty much running on autopilot, I've got my people in place that are supplying my content, posting the content, doing all of that stuff. It's actually better than a piece of real estate, because a piece of real estate, you have to buy it or mortgage it. That could be a 30-year note. You're going to be on the hook for that. You have a tenant in there. If the tenant turnover is high, you got to have, people come in and clean it out, and then you got to re-rent it and all that stuff. And I'm not saying rental isn't great, because it is. I own an Airbnb and I love it, but there are those sides of it too, right? Huge investment. With this, it's like, we get that thing up and running. Let's say it did cost $10,000. You make $1,000 per month, 10 months, the house is paid off. And then the rest is gravy, right? And then we can, if you're making $1,000 a month, that piece of property now instantly is worth, let's call it around $36,000 to $40,000. That we could sell that thing probably in a few days, depending on the niche and how well it's put together. And I've seen them go that quick. Okay. So I just kind of wanted to get that out of the way. All right. That's the idea here and the strategy behind all of this. So let's talk about what my targets are. So my targets are always looking at other people's results on what's happened, or other niches that I've been in, and now that I know what I can expect. But we are looking at traffic, and we're looking at ad networks. Now, again, to kind of get people up to speed that aren't familiar with this, there's 3 different ad networks. Actually, there's 4, but there's 3 different ones that are doing and supplying this type of revenue for traffic. Okay. Now, the one that I'm not going to be using, and I'm probably never, ever going to use it, is Google AdWords or AdSense, because it's very, very low. A lot of times, I don't know if they have an impression model. I really don't know because I've never looked into it. And if someone knows, they might want to tell me. But it's usually click based. Okay. So basically, someone has to click on an ad and then you get paid per click. And in some industries, it could be $11 click. Great. Some industries, it's going to be 2 cents. Okay. I don't like that because people actually have to click on the ad. I like the idea of someone visits your page, they view that page, and then that ad network pays you because someone was on the page. Someone saw the ads. Great. I love that. That means I just got to get traffic, keep people on the site. So if I get someone to go from one page to another page, counts as another impression, get paid for that impression. And the way that these ad networks, they base their payment to you is usually by 1,000 or per 1,000. They call it the RPM. Okay. And so that's what we're always looking at. Now this ranges. This could be $3 per 1,000. It could be $30 per 1,000. So it does range. Niche has something to do with it. Ad networks have something to do with it because some ad networks don't have the same kind of advertisers on their platform. And a great case of this is Ezoic. Now, Ezoic, we ran, I should say, on both of our case study sites. One of them did okay and is still doing okay. The other one, terrible. Thumbs down. Okay. And I'll give you the results here in a minute on what that looked like. Okay. But Ezoic, and I just heard a little rumor out there that they're going to actually have no limit. And I don't know if this is beta or if it's just something they're testing, but I heard they're not going to have a limit because usually an ad network has a limit. They have it where you have to have a minimum of 10,000 page views or 10,000 sessions. Ezoic is page views. Ezoic is one of the only ones out there, I believe, that has that low of a threshold. Okay. But now they've even made it to where they're going to let you come in even if you have 1,000 page views or less, which I don't know if I'm a fan of. They also, though, have different tiers inside of their ad platform. Now, I'm not going to get into the weeds here, but just understand that if you come in there and you only have 10,000 page views or you have less than 1,000, you're probably going to get less quality ads, which means they're going to be charging the advertiser less money, which means you get less money. Okay. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of that or even of Ezoic at this point, because I've tested, on both different, on two different niches, and it is really different. But also the way that they work it is if you want to get on a premium part of their network, you have to get invited to this private thing, right? This private platform. And we were invited at one point and I didn't want to pay for it because they were going to charge like 20, $30 a month. And then as your traffic grows, it could be $50 a month. But they did say that you'll get better ad impression money and all of this stuff. It just seemed a little off to me. So I was like, you know what? The next one in line is Mediavine. Okay. So Mediavine used to be 25,000 page views. And then they changed it. Now it's 50,000. I thought it was 50,000 page views. It's actually 50,000 sessions, which really equates to about 60,000 page views. Okay. A session is someone comes into your site, one person, that counts as a session. If that person goes to 3-4 other pages, it's still only one session. Okay. But they do, once you get approved and you get the 50,000 sessions, now they base your revenue on page views. Okay. So the page views are the most important number, although getting 50,000 sessions is what will get you approved to be on their platform. Okay. Now let's go over those numbers real quick and I'll give you some of my own numbers. So on Mediavine, we are literally we're only in about maybe 3 weeks since we've been approved. Okay. Now, if I back up a little bit, we were running Ezoic on this same site, and the site was getting between $4 and 1 or 2 days. I think we hit $5 per 1,000. This one site has been growing, and we had gotten over 70,000 page views in a month. Okay. So do the math there. Not that great, right? Like $5 per 1,000. What's that? $350. Okay. It's okay. Here's how it can change. And it did. We got approved for Mediavine. Okay. Mediavine approves us. It's going to take a little bit to get their, they call it their AI. It's kind of like their intelligence to start seeing where placements work best. And they do it all for you. Okay. Because they want your ads to perform well for their, advertisers. So same traffic, we switch over to this platform and instantly we went from what Ezoic was giving us $4 per thousand. We were immediately getting between $15 and $17. Right? So, think about that. Now, it gets even better. As we're starting to prove our content and our advertisers are coming on there from their platform, they're starting to bid up in a sense. Now, that's all internal. There's nothing we do with that. But we can see this as it's getting more history and more, I guess, advertisers that want to get in front of that type of content. Your RPMs will start to increase. So we had a day last week, I believe it was, that we hit like $25 or $26 per thousand. Per thousand. Now that site getting a couple thousand per day. Do the math. What's that? $40, $50, right? So we're averaging now, right now, I just looked over the past let's see here. And I'm actually going to do this on the fly so I can give you the exact number. So yeah, yesterday our RPM was $24.14, made $40.58 for one day. Okay. One day, do the math, 30 days, it's $1,200. Okay. That's if it stayed there. Now, looking at June 1st through June 8th, and that's the time that I'm actually doing this. If you're listening to this on the podcast, the day that it airs will be later. So this would have gotten more data. Our average for that week was $22.12. Earnings was $308. Okay. So even if I did the $22.12, I'm going to do this right now. So we got $22.12. So let's just go, let's see, what was that? So if we're earning 308 divided by, I believe this was for 8 days, it's $38 times 30. We're at $11.55. That's if everything stayed the same at $22.12. But we had yesterday at $24.14. So what's that? Let's go $24, just make it easy. That's going to be 40, let's see, 40, let's just call it $41 times 30. We're at $1,230 now. Okay. $12 or $1,230. Okay. Just from switching networks and having that kind of traffic. Okay. Just from having that kind of traffic. Now, I did put together this scenario. We have another niche site that we've been building, and that one is running Ezoic. That one has always been a little bit higher. Now, I don't know if it's the niche. I don't know if it's the site. I don't know. I can't tell you. All I know is it's always been a little bit higher. It's hovered between like $12 per thousand, upwards of $16, $17. And recently we had a day it was $19. So once again, your niche might perform better with Ezoic than Mediavine or Mediavine to Ezoic. You just don't know. So you do have to test it. So right now, what we are in the process of doing is getting approved for this other site, which, by the way, is not yet hitting 50,000 sessions. We're close. I think we're like 40, but our page views are around 48, I believe. But we have been told that what Mediavine will do is once one of your sites gets approved and you have other sites, they will allow you into the network within your portfolio. Don't know that yet. Stay tuned. I will let you guys know that. But if we got that site to 60,000 page views at $17 per thousand, that would be 1,020. So we would need to set our target to 60,000 page views. All right. If we set our targets to 50,000 page views at $20 on the RPM, that's $1,000. Okay. So really what we're looking at is between 50 and 60,000 page views. Now, this does not happen overnight. This doesn't happen overnight. I'm actually going to give you the steps. all right, and the timeline that you could potentially hit these numbers, okay? And so it comes down to, when you are creating content, it comes down to consistency. It comes down to creating content that is being searched for, and it is all about staying the course. This is a long-term play. This is a long-term play. Now, there are some risks. The risk is Google could have an update. They just literally rolled out an update last week. They're going to roll another one out in July. Now, this could negatively affect your site, reducing your traffic, or it could positively, add more traffic. And I've already heard some people said that the last update actually increased their traffic, which then would increase your revenue. But it could work the other way too. So we have to be aware of that. There's no guarantees. But if you have a rental property, you could be in an area that's hard to rent, and you could be, maybe without a tenant for 2 months, and then you gotta pay the bill. Okay, so we have risks in anything that we do. But if you are creating, I don't care if you are creating a brand that you want to create content, but that's not your main thing. You're creating, maybe digital products, and you're going to create an email list, and you're going to email your list once a week, and you're going to give them a helpful tip, even if you didn't even write a blog post. If you wanted to add content, this is why it kind of all works well for me, is if we're planting a seed out there, a content seed, there's a chance that could get picked up 6 months from now, 8 months from now, and just consistently bring in traffic. That traffic builds your email list. Because of our traffic now, by the way, on both of those sites, we're getting anywhere from 10 to 20 new email subscribers every single day. And now, because we've built that little automation, those people are going to get emails for a minimum of 2 weeks straight every 3 days, because we've built out this little automation that allows them to get a message. And we're sending out one email broadcast every single week to brand new content. That content that we're sending them to is on our website. And then that there is also adding to our page views. So when you send someone from your email address or your email list over to your website, that's adding as an impression. That's adding to your per 1,000. So in a sense, you're getting paid to send them to your website, even if they never buy anything. All right. So that's how it works. Now, there's a lot of variables. There's another ad network out there, and it's called AdThrive. AdThrive is like the top. Okay. Now, we did have AdThrive in our other brand that we sold, and we were getting anywhere from $20 to $28 per 1,000. So I know it's legit. Mediavine is proving to me to be almost, I think at this stage, as good. And it's less of a barrier to get in. Now, again, depending on your niche, AdThrive might have better advertisers for your niche. Mediavine might have better advertisers for your niche. Ezoic might have better, advertisers for your niche. But I have a hunch that Mediavine and AdThrive are going to be premium, and they're going to probably pay more. Although Ezoic does state on their website that they will guarantee that you will get paid more than any of those other networks. I have not seen too much on that as far as other people saying that, yes, it's accurate. I know Spencer Hawes from Niche Pursuit did have a whole thing that he did on it because they were going to use him as a case study. And I think he had some issues for a little while, and then they straightened it out. But all I can say is I've been on Ezoic, still on it, by the way. Mediavine has been smoother. Their interface, I like it better. I also love their customer support. They are so willing to actually help you with your website. I just had an email this morning, and they said, hey, it's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks since you've been on our platform. Hope all is well. We did a quick scan, and we noticed that your font size is a 16. And we've noticed that if you bump that to an 18, you'll have better user experience, which also would keep people on your site longer. If you need any help with that, let us know, and we can help you change your font size on your entire site. Like literally willing to do it for us for free. Okay. So the experience so far for me, Ezoic, customer support, it's okay. We actually had a couple of times that we emailed them, didn't get a huge or a quick response back, didn't get a lot back from it. Mediavine's been right on the ball. So that's just my personal experience. I know that Chris Schaefer is going to be writing a full blog post on our comparison. So keep an eye out for that. But that's what I wanted to share with you here today. All right. Is if you are looking to build a website with content, how to get to $1,000 per month just from the content, you're looking at probably between 50 and 60,000 page views, depending. Okay. That is, I mean, there's some variables there. You could probably do it with 30,000 if you're on Ezoic and they're paying $28 per thousand. That still wouldn't be quite that, but it'd be close. Okay. So it will range. But if you just set that target to 50,000 to 60,000 page views, you'll get there. Okay. You'll get there. And that's really our target. Now, here's the strategy breakdown. Let's get into this. I wrote a little bullet point list here for you. Okay. So number one is we need to validate the niche has traffic before we even go down this road. Before we even go down this road, we need to validate this niche. How do we do this? Very simple. There's a tool out there called Ubersuggest. I'm not affiliated with them. I wish they had an affiliate program. So Neil Patel, if you're listening, have an affiliate program, and guys like me or girls in this space can promote and help you. Even though I'm doing it right now for free. So anyway, Ubersuggest, there is a paid plan. I think you get 3 searches per month or per day for free. But it's a great tool to just give you an idea of the potential traffic. Because if you can't get 50,000 page views in your market, or if that's all that you can get and everyone else is kind of taking a part of that pie, it's going to be real hard to get that 50. But if you see that there's 1 million page views happening and you only need 50,000 to get there, a lot easier, right? So that's step number one. Step number two, validate the niche RPM potential. Now, this is a little tricky, but there are a couple things you can do. Number one, if you know someone, or if you are part of a blogger network or a group and they're already in a niche and they're getting RPMs, you can kind of ask them. The other way is if you go to Flippa and search for content sites, see if one is in your niche, and then see what those estimates are, because most of the time they're going to give you the screenshots of the earnings, and it will show you Mediavine, it'll show you Ezoic or AdThrive, and then you'll know what those RPMs are, even if you don't buy that site. The other one is Motion Invest. It's another site where they broker sites where they'll sell them. They show screenshots inside of an ad network if they're using it. So that's a way that you can validate the potential RPMs. Now, the other thing is on RPMs and how much you're going to make, it's seasonal too. So in the summer, they say July and August, it kind of dips a little bit because advertisers are not spending because it is the summer. There's less happening online, if you will. And so advertisers back off on their budgets. Same thing with after the 1st of the year, they recalibrate their ad spending, and then it might take a month for it to get going again. So you may go from $25 RPM to $15, $12 for a short period of time. You have to understand that going into this. But average, we want to know what's the average going to be, and that's what you would base that on. So we want to validate the niche RPM potential, Flippa, Motion Invest. The third thing is we want to consider for traffic is going after question-based content for the first 6 months. And the reason why I use first 6 months is because both of the sites that we built for the first 6 months got barely any traffic. Okay. So 3 months, you're going to start seeing some traffic. 4 months, a little bit more. 5, a little bit more. 6 months, you should be getting some steady traffic. And I say steady, it might be 100 visitors a day. It might be 200. Then it might be 800. Then it might be 1,000. And it's going to gradually go up, but you have to have enough content for that to happen. If you're only going to post 4 posts and then sit for 6 months, not going to happen. Okay. So the way that I look at it is, and when I'm building this stuff out, and even this strategy, this plan, this blueprint, is in the first 6 months, we are going to do 75 to 100 articles. That breaks down to 2 to 4 per week, depending. Okay. And then from there, step 5 is don't look at the analytics for 3 months. Just don't. Okay. If you want to, you can, but you're not going to probably see much. So just head down, focus, create the content, spend your time finding the buckets of content that you're going to create. And I would like it to be questions. And then maybe if you want to do a how-to here and there, and then product-based. Okay. You could literally stay busy with just doing questions the whole time. Or what I like to do is questions and then sprinkle in some product-based posts. Okay. But the questions, the very, very specific questions. Can you catch bass in a pond? Best time to catch bass in pond. Can you use worms to catch bass? Those are going to collectively add up to thousands. Again, if you've done your research, okay? But you have to keep putting out that content. And that's what we've done. That's what I'm going to continue to do. So now that we're at, 65, 70,000 page views, now the goal is to get to 100,000 page views. How? Keep adding more content. And some of that old content is going to start hockey sticking up. All right. So let's just kind of go through this one last time. Number 1, validate the niche has traffic using Ubersuggest. Number 2, validate the niche RPM potential, Flippa, Motion Invest, or ask someone that's already in that niche and is blogging already on that. 3, start with 80% question-based content, and then do that for the first 6 months. 4 is we want to create 75 to 100 articles per 6 months. All right. So we're going to break that down. That comes out to 2 to 4 per week. And then head down. Don't look at the analytics. And to me, you do that. You can be doing other stuff. You can be building your email list, sending people over to your content. You could be building a digital product, because if you're doing 75 to 100 articles, you could plan it out and create 5 of those that are going to turn into an ebook and then sell that ebook. And now you got something to sell, right? Or maybe you start the Etsy shop on the side if you see that your market would be interested in anything that you could sell on Etsy. So there's those things that you can be doing in the meantime as you're building out the content. Okay. And that's more of the long-term play. So there you go. That's how you can get to $1,000 per month from blog content only. And we are living proof of it. We have 2 sites right now. One of them that is going to hit that. One of them is just under that, but heading there. And we're going to keep doing it. We're going to actually start a 3rd one here in the next month, and we'll be documenting everything inside of Brand Creators Academy. So one more call to action. If you are interested, head on over to brandcreatorsacademy.com and get all the details there. We'd love to have you, but that's where we do stuff like this. We go over what's working, what's not working, and we brainstorm and we strategize and we do hot seats. All of that stuff is done inside of Brand Creators Academy. So go check it out. All right, guys. So that's it. That's going to wrap up this episode. Take care, take action, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, guys. That's a cut on that part of it. Let's go ahead and see who we still got here. And let's see. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Okay. What's up, Octavio? Good to see you, man. Okay. This is, I think, is for a Friday jam session. Earlier, I asked for a Friday jam session topic idea. So how to get engagement in your Facebook page or group, Facebook page versus group comparison for Friday jam. Okay. Yeah, we could definitely talk on that. And I will say on this real quick, if I had to choose between creating content for a blog or getting engagement in a Facebook group, I would choose the blog over the other. Just saying. And the reason why: evergreen, create something, get traffic for years. Facebook group, you're dealing with constantly feeding that, right? Every day we got to do something, or multiple times per day. So that's why just want to throw that out there. Let's see here. Jamal, hi, I have a question about selling on Amazon. You can ask, and we can see if we can answer it. How many articles do you have on the first niche site that is performing better? They're both about the same. We're approaching 300 right now. So yes. How do you set up your website to max out the ad revenue? Well, the cool thing is when you are on a network like Mediavine, they will position the ad units to perform the best. So we're going to let them test it. So all we need to do is create the content, put it there, and then once you get the ad network, they're going to do the placements. Now you can do your own placements. You can do it in Ezoic. You can do it in Mediavine, I believe. You're going to use a plugin, and then you're going to say where you want them. I would rather let them do it. It's kind of like Facebook ads. Let Facebook tell me what I should do because they have the data. So that's what I would say. Let's see. Oh, what are your rough sales and affiliate products on those sites? Roughly right now between $100 and $200. So it's not all that much. Part of the problem there is a lot of the products aren't more than, $20 to $150. The new site that we're going to be building is going to have products that are going to range from $50 all the way up to, I think, like $2,500. So we'll have everything in between there. So that's going to be a little bit better for affiliate stuff in the future. Consistency. Yes, I agree. Let's see. How long did it take to start getting ad revenue on your websites? It actually was not as long as you would think. I think like maybe 7-8 months, but it wasn't that great. We had it on, then we turned it off because it was slowing our site down so much, but we only had experience at that point with Ezoic. And then once we went to Mediavine, it's been smooth. So yeah, I would say 7 to 8 months. Let's see. Was the font size sample just an example, or should we change to 18? Don't change anything because it was a recommendation. I'm not even sure if we're going to do it. And I'm not quite sure how that would impact it, but we're not jumping yet. So I would not say do 18. I wouldn't worry about that at this point. Do you initially recommend to get Ezoic and then switch over once you get more traffic? Yeah, I would test it. Why not? If it totally slows down your site and you're not getting that great of RPMs, then just turn it off. It's literally a click of a button. Let's see this one. I use 18 with a 1.8 line height. That is optimum. That's cool. Okay. Thank you. Scooby Life. Wow. I'm going back through this again tonight after work. Awesome. Let's see. What are some ways to generate revenue before ads are allowed? Digital products, digital product creation, fast track workshop. Salma, I know that you've already went through that. I would go through that. That's one way. The other way is Etsy. If there's any merch that could be sold there, that affiliate products, obviously. But again, if you don't have a market that has products that are over $100, the affiliate commission is so small, so small. But yeah, those are some ideas. If your market is you teaching someone how to do something, maybe it's you're going to do some coaching. That's how you could do it really quickly. But as far as someone going there, buying something, you either have to have your own products, someone else's products, and get enough traffic to where you can turn on an ad network. And Etsy would be a good topic for Friday too. Yeah, maybe we'll do that one another time, but I'm still going to see after this airs, I'm going to see if we have any other recommendations. I have a couple ideas, but the Facebook group thing might be a good one to discuss. So we could do that as well. All right, guys. So that is going to wrap up this Wednesday edition of our Coffee Talk. We will be back here Friday. I won't be here though. I will be in another location. We are going to be traveling. Guess where? Let's do this real quick while I have a sip of coffee here. Where might I be this weekend as far as my activity? Anybody know? Anybody have a clue? Anybody that's been paying attention for any period of time over the past month, 2 months? What will I be doing over the weekend? Where might I be? Salomon nailed it. Volleyball. Florida. No, not Florida. Good guess though. Volleyball. Yes. Yep, we will be there. We're actually leaving tomorrow afternoon. Going to head towards Charleston, South Carolina. So yeah, we're going to be heading there, and we'll be there for the weekend. So yes, we will be there. Looking forward to it. So, all right, guys, that is it. That is going to wrap up this Coffee Talk. Guys, have an awesome, amazing day. And as I said earlier, take care, take action, and I'll talk to you soon. And hey, stay tuned next Friday. episode 1000 is going to be airing. It's going to be exciting. Take care, guys.